All right, you guys, what's up? Wally with Beach River Landscapes. I want to talk to you guys about something after I put my glasses on because it's bright up in here. So this is something that I've always thought about ever since I've been mowing lawns, but I've never thought about talking about it. It's never come to the camera, but it is something I'm sure that we all consider and we all do or think about whenever we're mowing. And that is whenever you're going to zero turn to go from one end of the lawn to the other and you're up against the driveway, do you go on the driveway and turn around on the concrete, or do you turn around on the grass? So I'm just going to show you guys, there is a really white driveway here, and I already asked and they said it was fine. So I'm going to show you guys what the difference is whenever you're mowing on, whenever you're zero turning on the concrete of a driveway versus zero turning on the grass. And then we're going to get into the whys and the do's and the don'ts and the personal preferences at the end of the day. All right, so let's go mow.
Okay guys, sorry about the audio. I don't know what's happening on the mic, but here's what I'm saying. So when you pull off the driveway, you can see this big mess that it leaves where everything, especially with a mulch kit, everything just comes out. You can see the tire marks on the driveway from turning around. When you pull up and you go along the driveway without getting on top of it, it's definitely a cleaner turnaround, but you're stressing out the grass over time. But like I said, when you come up here and you're pulling off of the grass onto the driveway, it is very clear that you definitely make a mess with the tires, and you have to either wash it down or wait for the rain to kind of get rid of those tire marks that end up on there.
All right guys, so let's talk about this for a moment. So there's a couple reasons why I like turning around on the driveway, a couple reasons why I don't. So turning around on the driveway when you have a mulch kit is the messiest thing ever, man. Whenever you have side discharge, it's really no messier than anything else. Well, I guess it could be, it's just as messy, I guess, if you're going out. It depends on which way you're you're fanning out the grass, but ultimately you have all that stuff underneath your mulch deck that you're mulching up, and it all drops out, especially if it's wet and then the tires roll over it and turn around, you're leaving some tire marks. Back in the day, I would have clients that got upset about that, but we don't really run into that problem on the commercial side of things, but residential wise, people get really upset. I like the evenness of the grass. I like being able to roll off the grass if I'm striping or if I'm just mowing, and be able to turn around there. I'm not worried about the mess because I can clean it up. The only thing with the mess is that the tires, when they depress into it, it'll leave like, wet marks with dirt, you know what I'm saying? Because the grass is keeping the tires wet, you know what I'm saying? So you just make like a bigger mess when it comes to rolling off the grass and turning around on the driveways. So I know a lot of guys hate doing that. A lot of guys love doing that. Me, I have feelings about it, but there's reasons behind it. So again, if the client doesn't mind and doesn't care, could care less, because all of our clients on our commercial stuff, they're like, dude, we drive on it, we pressure wash our stuff, but when it's raining and muddy and we're driving around, we still pull up and we have tire tracks, and then eventually they go away. They don't care out here. But whenever I see, like earlier, a nice white driveway that is pressure washed, and I asked them before I could do it, I said, I really want to use your really white driveway. They were totally fine with it. They laughed. But I try to avoid that if I can. Even though I like turning around on the driveway, I will still avoid it if it looks like they just pressure washed their sidewalks and their driveways. Be considerate, and I stay off of it. And this goes for commercial stuff. Residential stuff, it is definitely a 50-50, man. I have found that with almost nearly 300 clients that, at a time, that half of them don't want you to do it and the other half could care less. So I would take note, the ones that don't mind you doing it, if you like turning around the driveway, turn around the driveway. The ones that don't like you doing it, just don't do it. You know, and then you have to be extra careful. So here's the reasons why I don't like turning around on the grass, and then another reason why I do. First thing is obvious. The reason I do like turning around on the grass is to prevent mud and things of that nature getting on the driveways, really bad tracks, dumping a lot of you know, grass clippings on the driveway, and then it's sticking when you're trying to blow it. You know what I mean? So that does happen. If it has rained a lot and there is, like, you know, I can feel some mud might squirt, you know, or be thrown onto the driveway or the sidewalk, I will not leave the grass while I'm mowing. So turning around on the driveway when it is really wet, I usually won't do it no matter what. As long as it's dry, I'll turn around the driveway if the clients don't care. But I don't like turning around, I don't like turning around on the grass because of the stress that it ends up putting on the turf itself. So you imagine if you don't have, you know, you don't have so much space, you only have a limited amount of space, you're constantly going, doing a 3-point turn, turning around. Eventually that spot starts to bald out if you're not paying attention. Typically it's like when we have employees and they're just mowing and they don't turn around on the driveways, they end up doing bald spots in the same spot, the turnaround bald spot, every single time. So for that, I tell them just to go on the driveway unless I tell them not to. Mainly I tell them to do that because I don't want them tearing up the turf. But me personally, when I'm mowing, I like to turn around on the grass if it's really wet to prevent mud from getting on the driveway. I don't like the stress on the grass because of doing that. Dude, same thing. If it's super, super hot and it's dry, you're going through a drought, turning around right there on the edge of that driveway pulls the, you know, pulls the grass in on the edges, pulls them in, pushes them back out. You're just putting stress on that turf. So I don't like turning around on the turf for a couple of reasons. And like I said, the only main reason I will is if it's super wet and I don't want to throw mud on there. If the clients don't care, I do prefer driving off, like I said. But I am really curious what you guys do and why you do it. You know, everybody's gonna have a different opinion. Yes, I think it makes a much bigger mess when you drive off of the grass onto the driveway and turn around and come back. We're gonna clean that up, but it can, not always, but it can leave remnants of you driving off, turning around with tire marks and all that. The flip side is you don't stress out the edge line of that grass by constantly turning around right there on that edge line. So I'm just curious about what you guys do. So I like doing both and I don't like doing both for different reasons. Leave me a comment down below. Let's have this conversation, son. Let's see what you guys and girls think whenever it comes to turning around. On the driveway, off the driveway. When, why, how come? All right, see y'all later. Peace out.